Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Geek Out. We're here at Oasis Games in Salt Lake City with a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Curtis Baum. I happen to be the tabletop coordinator for all of Salt Lake Gaming Con, which is happening on July 6th and 7th.
I'm X.
I'm Max.
I'm Brogan.
I'm going to lose.
If you don't mind, let's have Curtis explain how to play the game, because this is not one that I'm familiar with. X, I know you're probably not familiar with
Not
it. So
terribly,
if you don't mind, Curtis, just explain to us how the game is
Not a
played.
problem at all. First of all, I'm going to tell you that my younger daughter is the one that's going to kick your butt. Star Wars Destiny is a pretty simple game. Happens a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. Imagine that. Your players each have cards. Some of them have dice associated with them. And when they play those cards, they activate those cards, they roll the dice for different effects, such as shooting the other person, raising shields, getting extra resources so they can spend more on bigger cards, things like that.
Okay.
It should be about a half an hour long, and I'll let the light side, my daughter's playing the light side, hopefully beats the dark side. No offense.
None taken.
So that's your basic rundown. Enjoy watching the game, and I'll talk about what we're doing at Gaming Con with it later on.
Alrighty,
We
real
got some fun
quickly,
ones.
before we jump in, which characters do we have here? Max, you're running.
I have Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma.
Okay, and then it looks like Anne here is running a classic Rey and Finn deck. So
It's like something straight out of the movies.
yes,
like,
it is.
It's like literally
It's like it
like
was
this game
pulled
was
from
based
the
on
The
a
movie.
Force
movie.
Awakens or something.
Alrighty, we are gonna let you guys have at it. While you're playing, we're just gonna be interviewing Curtis here, asking some questions about Gaming Con. If you're planning on going, we'll probably see you there. And if you're not, stay tuned.
Well, hopefully we'll convince you to go.
yeah,
I'll give you a real good reason to go, but I'll do that later.
absolutely.
A really, really good reason.
Promise.
Okay, more than one, actually.
Worth the wait.
So you said you're the head of the tabletop gaming. Okay, what does that entail? I know tabletop is a fairly broad term. I know obviously things like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder are probably going to be included. Does that include anything else?
It includes anything that does not go beep, whir, or buzz.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Sure,
that
sure.
said, okay, we've got 49,000 square feet
Okay.
dedicated to tabletop gaming. That's one full
spend your resources
hall
to play
within
that
the Mountain America Expo Center. We're using 4 halls
wanna
total
make sure I didn't wanna call
for
it.
all of Gaming Con. So
I want to do something.
you've got miniature war games,
Okay.
such as Warhammer 40K.
Right.
It's got a massive tournament there. War Machine's got a big tournament there. We've got a board game library with over 1,000 board games coming in. We have
I love
100
that. That's honestly one of my favorite parts of Gaming Con. To be fully honest, is just walk in, grab a random game, and just try it out.
Well, and you know, where games are, a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of new games coming out every year.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and if you're not really keeping up on it, you can easily get lost. Monopoly's been around forever.
Right.
Risk has been around forever.
I
We're good,
too
right?
do
But that's
that.
not the case. And there's always new ones coming out, and they're always really, really good.
Right.
And so, but as with everything else in the world, they're starting to get more expensive.
It's true.
So
That
here
is
you
true.
go. You want something, you're looking at it,
The
check
Force
it out,
is very
play it for a
strong
while,
with this one.
have fun.
So it is kind of drop in, drop out. Like if you just show up and you're like, I want to try this out, you can just slide in and give it a shot, right?
That's exactly what the board game library is all about.
I imagine there's a lot of people there as well that are showcasing their own games that they're making.
We
do
have a
you get a lot of that?
We've got a couple of them. We've got
Okay.
2 different indie groups that are coming in showing off some games.
Sure.
They're both local. One is called Realm Warfare, and the other one is called Infinite. Let me write it. I have to keep my notes. I got them just on my notes as Infinite.
You're
That's
fine,
not part
yeah.
of their name. But they're running. They've got several different games that they've got.
Okay.
They're actually also teaching people how to GM and play different games, things like that.
Right.
So not only do we have, and I'll go through some of the areas here, but not only do we have the board games, not only do we have the tournaments,
My turn?
not only do we have the RPGs like
play
Pathfinder and
Sound the
D&D,
Alarm.
we have an area, a
I'm gonna
large
reroll.
area set apart to just grab some friends. If you want to play your game,
that's correct.
knock yourself out. We got
Show me
plenty of
those
space.
swords.
Or
Okay.
if you want to learn to play something and you can find a GM willing to teach you, we got place set up for that. Both board games and role-playing games.
Okay. So you say there's going to be tournaments as well.
Oh yeah,
A lot of tournaments.
I would call it quite a few.
Okay. And are those going to be spanning the full 2 days as well?
Yes, they will.
Okay.
Different
so
ones
we,
spanning different lengths, but yeah.
we won't know the winner essentially until the end of the second day, right?
Depends on the tournament. Some of them
Okay.
are smaller. The big one lengthwise is Warhammer 40K.
Oh, they are having a Warhammer tournament.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
32
okay.
players.
Oh goodness.
All right.
So
I think
from what I
32
remember
players.
is you can just take any of those actions.
Yes.
As many
32
times as
players.
we go back and forth.
They are playing
So,
from
if
fairly
you
early
wanna claim
Friday. I
that
want to
resource
say 1 o'clock in the
well,
afternoon, off the top of my head.
you can.
And
Or
then
you
they're
can just
not
pass
going to
it
wrap
away.
up until Saturday about 6, 7
Okay.
at night.
I'm just
So they're going to play
card.
most,
Oh my
literally,
goodness.
all of these.
literally
Wow.
like 6 hours on Friday and another 8 hours or so on Saturday. It is a huge
That's a bit
game.
better.
So I'm not super familiar with Warhammer. Is that all of them playing at the same time, or is that going to be one-on-one?
One-on-ones, a
Knockout.
series of different
Okay,
one-on-ones.
okay.
They're not knockout. They're more of a round robin of some variety, Swiss possibly. I don't know the whole details on it. I don't run the tournament.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, I'm crazy. I'm not that crazy. I'll let other people do some things. But there's a group, Salt City Gladiator Games,
Uh-huh.
is running both Warhammer and War Machine for us, and some of the
I'm
local
going to
companies have
resolve
actually
my
chipped
two
in
range
for some of the prizes.
on
Like
Okay.
Ray.
half of the prizes roughly half for the Warhammer tournament, for example, come from a small company called Shiv Games down in Murray.
We just got first blood.
Ooh,
You missed it. I rolled all blanks on my first roll.
that's
Its
my
first
normal
round
roll.
was
Yeah.
nothing. It was great.
It was so great.
It's a whole lot of ladies first.
We've got D&D Adventurers League and Pathfinder Society both showing up for the tables. What are we expecting for the turnout for those specifically? Because that's of course where I'm most interested.
Okay, Pathfinder has 7
gonna
tables
claim the
for the
belt,
whole
yeah.
event.
Like constantly 7 tables.
Pretty much.
Choose
One of them's kind of a
card.
flex, but the other 6,
support card.
they've got different 5 slots scheduled. So that puts 30 Pathfinder
idea.
sessions based around the 4-hour scenario idea, and then a 5th one just to learn to play and chill
Have
and
some fun.
have some fun. D&D is an interesting one. The group that's running D&D is not just running D&D. So I'll get to D&D in a second, but they're also running Tales of Equestria.
Oh.
That My Little Pony
My
role
Little
playing
Pony
game.
one, yeah.
There's a role-playing game of My Little
there's-
Pony. This is news to me.
You haven't
Well, they
seen that
have-
yet?
I have
Oh
not
my
seen
gosh.
this.
They have My Little Pony rules for Pathfinder and for D&D as well. But this is
mean-
actually an official, quote-unquote, RPG.
I mean,
for
I'm
My
not
Little Pony.
terribly surprised. I figured
I'm
something
not
like that
surprised.
existed, but
Hey, if it exists.
fair enough. This
I've got it.
this would be the place for it to be. For
Exactly.
Yeah, well, same group that's running the D&D is running My Little Pony.
sure. Okay.
They're running
back up there.
Star Wars RPG.
Okay.
The Star
You
Wars
got 2
RPG
more
is an interesting one
resources.
because you got different sets that have different dice rules, and they're kind of
Got it.
meshing all of them together. And then they're also running Star Trek.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a couple of those, say 1 table apiece of each. That leaves 22 tables of D&D pretty much all the time.
Woo!
But it gets better. It gets better. They've got 2 major events planned. Friday night,
my
they're
guys.
planning a 20-table simultaneous event,
Yeah.
and Saturday
Are
night
you
a 25-table
serious?
series. Yeah,
Oh my
they're
god.
they've got a lot of content specifically written for Gaming Con. It has not been out
Really?
anywhere else.
Remember
Yo.
what this symbol means.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
they're going to have a blast.
So is this because I know I've seen something in the past. I don't know if it was a con or what, but they had this very large scale tabletop RPG where everybody just kind of had like a toss away character, and it was just see how long you can survive. Is it going to be something similar to that, or can you not give that away?
Well, I know
You're
a
so
little bit
good.
about the Saturday one. I don't know a
Okay.
lot about the Friday one. The Saturday one, they'll be using pre-generated characters,
okay.
and it's a competitive one. They're all trying to escape and deal with a threat simultaneously, see who's fastest.
Huh.
That's a little bit. That's about all I know about
And
it.
that is a lot of people
That is
playing
a lot
at
of
one
people
time.
playing.
25 tables,
about 100
6
people minimum.
Yeah.
Right?
6 players per table,
Six
6
going to play
per.
this.
It's
so they're looking at
150.
150 plus the 25 GMs. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Give him.
that's if they hit capacity,
We're
mind you.
looking,
But
we're
yeah.
looking at
Cross-guard
if this
lightsaber.
works out, there's 175 people playing D&D simultaneously.
Saturday
The
night,
same thing too.
the same
But I
exact
get
scenario.
activated.
Saturday night. Yeah,
Or I don't get activated.
it's up on the
It's
war
already
horn.
activated, correct?
That's insane. So as far as the Star Wars and Star Trek RPGs go, is that a similar rule set to Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder would be, or is it
The-
completely separate?
They're different in that they're not D20 based.
Okay,
The Star
okay.
Wars one, for example, actually uses dice very similar to this.
Got
and
it.
it has different effects. You have hits, you have misses, you have blocks, things like that. I haven't played the new versions of Star Wars. I
Sure.
just know a little bit about it from friends.
But it is one where you design a character.
Oh, yeah.
It has its own stats, and okay.
Yeah. The Star Trek one I don't know as much about. The little bit I've seen about it is actually kind of a persistent campaign called Star Trek Adventures.
Okay.
And it looks like they've got miniatures based on like the new Next Generation. I saw some in the store the other day. And so I don't know
changes
quite as much
this.
about the Star Trek one, if they're going to be
roll all of
pre-gens or
these.
not. Pre-gens were provided, but I don't know how that works out long term.
Sure.
But the D&D Adventurers League and the Pathfinder Society, and for that matter, Starfinder Society, you take your one character or multiple characters. I've got 27 of them for Pathfinder.
Okay.
And
I've got 4.
Xavier's a noob.
Yeah.
But you take them from convention to convention, game store to game store, travel the galaxy with them for all that matters, and you're good to go. Because they all use the same rules, and you all
Right.
have the same character creation rules and what you
Okay.
can and cannot do to make it all fair, no matter where you go. So, like, PaizoCon was Memorial Day weekend up in Washington.
Okay.
And a bunch of the local Pathfinders, about 8 or 10 of them, went up there.
Really?
I'm broke. I didn't. I had to stay home and pretend people liked me.
Right.
But they go up there every year, and they have a hoot with it. Uh-oh.
Explain what just happened.
Oh no.
I for once rolled something very good, and she's just like, "Nah, we're just gonna reroll everything." Oh, that's true.
But she rolled blanks.
This is a very passive game we're playing here, where it's more just like, no, you.
No.
No, you don't do anything.
Ever see a Magic game where it's just counter after counter after counter after counter? That's what's happening now.
Back when I played Magic, I had mostly a green deck
When playing the battlefield.
Yeah.
a million years ago.
Oh.
that means I
wow.
can-
Speaking of
They
magic,
didn't limit it to 4 cards at the time. My friend had a black deck with like 15 plague rats.
Or a
It was nasty. Me, I just attacked with 4 force of natures.
put that back.
See, I've only recently gotten into Magic within the last year or so is when I really got heavy into Magic. So
Pulled out of Magic before I had kids. The last set I played was Antiquities.
I'm sure they're gonna have tons of Magic at Gaming Con as well.
They've got it 2 tournaments actually.
Okay. I figured they would.
Well, they're really interesting ones. The Friday Night Magic one is simply called Super Friday Night Magic.
Happy with us today.
Super,
Super
Friday Night Magic.
Yeah.
You gotta have the announcer voice.
And what's so
But I don't
super-
want to. No, the Super Friday Night Magic's kind of like what you play in most game stores. Most game stores will have a Friday get-together
Correct.
Magic tournament thing. That one's got a minimal entry fee. It's on the Warhorn. I think it's like $5.
I will.
Okay.
And that's just to provide prizes.
one
That's an
day.
easy one.
Yeah.
The one on Saturday, you'll like this.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's called the Core 2019 Pre-Release Tournament. The cards are not even released until that Saturday. They're bringing in
Reset.
cards.
Got
You
it.
have to buy the whole set to play them. And that one,
kidding.
I don't remember the price. It was $15 or $20 for that one because you have to buy those cards.
Because you gotta get the deck.
You got to get the deck.
So
you
that
cannot play it.
That
without it.
$15-20 includes the deck.
That is the cards.
No way. That's incredible. I might have to get in on that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Now
But yeah, you
we've
get,
got.
you get to play the cards. What, 12, 13 hours before you're supposed to be able to?
Well, they're starting. I want to say noon, might be 1
just
o'clock
back in the
on
middle,
Saturday.
and
But
I
yeah.
started.
So yeah, about 12 hours prior to when you're supposed to be able to get your hands on it.
Well, it's the 2019 even pre-release.
Oh, that's true.
So it's
And there's a
like,
So
trophy.
It's like super early.
Well, it might be like used cars or new cars. You know, they always release the
That's
2019
fair.
models
That's
in
fair.
February the year before. But no, it's. I know it's being released basically that weekend, so it'll be cool.
Dang.
Speaking of releases that weekend, since we're watching, my daughter kill in Destiny, July 5th, which is next Thursday from when we're recording this,
Right.
a brand new expansion for Star Wars Destiny comes out called The Way of the Force.
Oh, okay.
July 6th at Gaming Con is a Way of the Force tournament.
Okie dokie.
So will they incorporate that? The new.
What you got to do for that one is you got to bring it, either pick up at the con or bring your own starter deck.
Okay.
That's the end of it.
Okay,
There you go.
and then you'll pay for cards for the Way of the Force. You'll get, I think it was 6 boosters. We just barely finalized this yesterday.
Right.
Nobody knows about this. We haven't even announced
Oh.
it yet, by the way.
So this is.
You guys should feel special.
This is under the table.
Well, I'm trying to get things written and posted and things like that.
Right,
but It's
right.
been a zoo, but yeah, you'll get 6. I think it's 6 of the new starter sets, the foil packs,
Yeah.
as it were, and then you build your deck out of it and fight. And every time you win a match, you get another booster
Get
pack.
another booster.
That deals 2
Really?
damage to the character, or
And that's
3
going on
if
for
it has
several
1 or
hours.
more
So you just.
Friday
if,
night, about
if you're good enough,
4
you just
hours.
get more
Technically,
and
you're
more
just
and more.
slowly getting better.
Well, you're slowly getting richer anyway. Or you keep losing, whichever comes first. But that's Friday night. And then on we have Saturday 2 different Destiny tournaments. We've got a theme deck. So if you wanted to make, say, Lando and Well, let's leave Lando out of it. We'll go Han and Chewie. not to pick on Lando, because Lando had the Millennium Falcon first. But say you wanted to make a Millennium Falcon deck. Get Han and Chewie, maybe throw in Lando, just for fun, and build your entire deck based on that one theme, the Millennium Falcon theme.
Right.
And then they judge it and prizes based on how
cool
awesome
the
it
theme is.
Yeah.
See, that's really cool. I love that you can still win something even if you're not the
even
best
if you're
at the
really
game.
bad at the game.
Just for having a cool theme.
Even if
That's
your
really
Just for having a cool idea.
happens to completely run out.
Yeah. Well,
I see you're still rolling 4 dice, and she's on 6 now. So
Yeah,
See,
sometimes you get the cards, sometimes you don't.
I would totally make like a bounty hunter deck with like all the coolest bounty hunters.
Boba Fett. The big Destiny thing is Saturday night. Okay, so there actually is 3 Destiny tournaments. You got the one Friday with the new releases, which ought to be awesome. And you got the Saturday themed one, which is fairly early, like noon. And then you got the Saturday afternoons, actually got the big competition thing.
the big one.
You bring your own deck, you fight to the death, which is happening very quickly here. But
Apparently, see this. I look at this and it makes absolutely no sense to me. But
Well, there's only 2 damage off, right?
well,
So far, her heavy hitter has not rolled any
So-
hits, and
so-
my heavy hitter keeps getting countered by her.
So
There you
you're
go.
you're holding your defenses though. So you're not dying yet.
Why do you have
Well-
to jinx me like this?
what you're not seeing, if you're not paying really close attention to this, is how you work with these. You activate your dice and you put them in your dice pool, and then your opponent can counter and get rid of your dice, and then you choose to roll them as one of your actions. So you go back and forth. It's not like Anne's going to town and activating all of her dice and rolling 85
Right.
dice at
Right.
the same time. It's one at a time. Now,
okay,
And you may
Yeah.
go.
so that's it. But when you've got one person with that many dice, for example, and that few dice on the flip side, you're going to see a lot of Anne taking moves that
Not my boy.
are not
my white
happening
boy.
on the other side because he has nothing to do.
Oh, she got her first blood there.
So most of the tournaments will have prizes. We've got a bunch of them, actually. We've talked about War Machine. We've talked about Warhammer. Star Wars Legion has a tournament. That's on, I want to say Saturday.
I'm going to.
Too many numbers going through my head, so I'm trying to remember them.
I'm sure there's a ton of stuff.
I'm going to
Pokemon has a
There is
tournament.
a Pokemon
There is a
Yes.
Pokemon tournament. There is a...
I'm going to.
Okay.
Play this.
I have a question
This
for
is-
you
And this
then.
means I can take
Okay, go
2
ahead.
additional
Can one
actions,
sign
right?
up to
Okay,
help
so I'm gonna
be
do that.
a spectator for a Pokemon tournament? Because that is like a goal I've always had in my life. For
Right,
whatever
and for
reason,
my
I've just
2
always
act-
wanted
for 1
to
action, I
be
can
like a
activate these
spectator
guys, yes.
commentator. Do they even have like commentators for these tournaments? or-
Most of the tournaments, they'll have judges say, hey,
Okay.
what's the rule on this? How does this work? But they don't usually have commentators.
Okay.
Um,
Dang.
Oh,
Well,
darn.
that's not saying you can't. That's not saying you
Blast.
can't. You guys,
Sure.
we have media teams. We have a lot of press coming.
Okay.
I know you guys are coming.
We are coming. We will be there. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And I
So
think it
you
was
you
all
might just
one
be
character
sitting there going,
festival,
ooh, here comes a Pikachu. Yeah. It could happen.
If I don't do anything else with my life, that's the one thing I want to do.
You gotta get done.
The important thing on this is the they'll have signups at the con.
Okay.
But the priority has to go to those who signed up in
Got
advance.
it.
Right.
And that makes perfect
understandable.
sense.
Yeah, of course.
So if you want to be involved in these
No.
these tournaments, and I mean I can go down the list.
Yeah.
There
I can
are
resolve those too.
9
Or
or
I can
10
resolve
different
one.
games, and most of them have 3, give or take 2 to 3 different tournaments. So I mean, there's a lot going on.
And
so
that
you
is
gotta
all
make sure you
crammed
sign
into
up.
2 days as well.
It's all crammed
so
into
it's
2
gonna be
days.
a busy
It's all crammed
2
into
days.
2 days.
Yeah, and you think you need your caffeine now?
A lot of space. Though.
Yes.
Well, yeah. The biggest problem we're having is kind of ironic. We are actually outgrowing what we
I'm going
have
to
there.
Just activate
Okay.
that one and deal
To
damage.
put this in
straight
perspective, this is our 4th year.
Okay.
I went the first year, and I played one table of Pathfinder a little bit just so that I was there. The reason
Right.
I got involved in it is I'm actually a publisher. I write stuff for Pathfinder, mostly for Pathfinder. I do some for 5e, some for Starfinder, a little bit for Mutants and Masterminds. But most of what I do is for Pathfinder. So I wanted to see how the market was
Sure.
in Utah. Make sure
Yeah.
that people are gaming. Because if nobody plays the game, then I don't sell anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And as it is, everybody plays the game, and I still don't sell much. But that's not the point. So I went the
hard
first
truth.
year, okay, and it didn't go quite as smooth as I'd hoped.
Yeah.
It was the first year for the con. There were some Jake might hurt me for this saying this, but we had some communication issues specifically with tabletop in the first year. And D&D was next to us. They had a couple tables. Magic had a bunch of space. I think they played a little bit on Saturday, and that was about it. Okay, so I'm sitting there looking at tabletop gaming in general, going, we need to do better.
Yeah.
Okay, and part of it was maybe I didn't reach out early enough to get involved and make sure this went well. So year 2, which would have been 2016, Jake corrected me on that, by the way. I thought this was year 5. This is only year 4. So year 2, I contact Jake about February, March. I'm referring to Jake Williams. He's the big head guru of GamingCon. So I contact him about February or March and go, what's the situation on tabletop? Who do I talk to? I want to get this game running. And Jake goes, you want the job? Okay.
Wow.
So I took it from there. I go, okay, if we're going to do this, I was only taking care of tabletop RPGs at the time. I wasn't dealing with tournaments. Somebody else was dealing with tournaments. So I was just dealing with RPGs. So I started putting out feelers, trying to track down Pathfinder, again, because that's what I do. And kind of came up with, there's a couple people playing, but not a lot's going on. So I'll deal with that one in a second. Reached out to the D&D guys, tracked them down. I had a contact, one of my brothers. As I said, I have a lot of brothers. Knew a guy, so I got hold of the D&D guys, and we've been working together ever since.
So tell me,
for the D&D things. And Pathfinder, I went through, tracked it down, and realized that we did not have any officers for Pathfinder Society in the state of Utah at the time.
Really?
There's a long story behind that. I'm not going to go through it, but the old officers had left for various different reasons. There were still people playing, but they didn't really have an officer at that point running things. So along with getting GamingCon going, I started pestering Paizo to get Pathfinder Society going.
And that's that card.
And the answer back to that is, well, do you want to be the captain? And I go, I can, but I have a few problems. One of the things they want, Paizo is really good about this. They want their volunteers to be very informed, very involved. And I couldn't make it to conventions very often. So I said, captain's probably not the right call for me. So we had GamingCon, and the week after GamingCon, we set up a captain and 3 lieutenants. I'm one of the lieutenants. In charge of Salt Lake, actually. Salt Lake County.
Wow.
This year we got some interesting things. Okay, we're bringing in on the tabletop side, as I said, crazy numbers of tournaments, and I can go through the list. The esports side, okay, the person who was doing esports last year got scalped and ran away from us and earned lots of money now. Yeah, that's one of the fun things about me. I'm a volunteer, so I don't earn any money. But he went to a company in California that pays him to travel around and run tournaments, basically. Good on Kai. Okay. That's where everybody wants to be in life, right?
It's a sweet game.
Doing what you want to do and getting paid for it. So that left us with an interesting problem on the electronic side. So this year they've got a lot of developments in the electronic side where the University of Utah, for example, actually has an esports scholarship program. You guys know about that?
They do.
Okay. So it's become very big.
Yes.
And so we're running some esport competitions for the International Collegiate Esports Group to come in and compete. And there's, I think, 12 universities coming.
Really? I was not aware it was that big.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, we've got a...
Holy cow.
So, to recap, we've got the whole esports thing run by essentially our guys up at the U.
I'm going to resolve
I
this
think
4 damage.
Victor's actually at Utah State, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I know Sam pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sam is at the U. I've spent some time with him. Do you have any
Facebook
idea
Messenger.
what games will be played, esports-wise?
Okay, the big one that a lot of the younger crowd is all get out about is right now is Fortnite.
Fortnite. I was gonna. I knew it.
Of
I
course,
knew
it's
it.
gonna be Fortnite.
Did somebody
Why
say
would there not be
Fortnite?
Fortnite.
I should have guessed.
Yeah, Fortnite's going to be huge. I've heard rumors of bits and pieces of a few others, but I haven't solidified enough that I really...
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be having League of Legends. Don't quote me on that, but...
The two that I've
I'm
most
fairly
recently
certain.
seen them trying to get organized were League of Legends and Overwatch.
Okay.
Speaking of Overwatch, we had our wonderful guest. We had Mercy coming in, but she had to cancel.
No.
Mercy had to cancel. But it was bad. But one of the other Overwatch voice actors happened to be in town from France.
Matthew Mercer. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a gal, I know that much.
How much I'd love that.
My turn.
But I don't remember which one she was.
Yeah,
But she's going to be there instead.
From France?
From France.
Is she French? Or was she just visiting France?
She lives in France.
Who would that be?
It's not Angelina Jolie. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Widowmaker.
I think it is.
Widowmaker.
I think
It might
it's
be
Widowmaker.
Widowmaker.
I think it is. I've
She's
seen
French.
the picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
She is French.
I saw the tweet that we're having the Widowmaker voice actor coming to Gamescom.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was the thing. Unfortunately, Mercy had to pull out, so we got Widowmaker instead.
It's an alright trade.
I'd say it's reasonable.
At least we got
Still have the
something in
entirety of
return.
Breath of the Wild, though.
Yeah, we
they
still got Breath of the
really?
Wild. Yeah.
How did I not know any of
There's
this?
one other one we're trying to tie down. I don't know how solid it is, so I'm not even going to say that one.
All right, fair
But
enough.
it'll be huge.
It'll be a surprise.
multi-generational. Everybody can relate to this guy.
And then we've got
This guy.
This guy.
That's
I'll tell you
him
that much.
right
It's
there.
male if we can get him.
Okay,
We're working
okay,
on it.
that's half the population.
We've narrowed it down.
We've narrowed it down to about 3 billion people now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Multi-generational. I'll go that one too. He's been in the business a very long time. But I don't know for sure that it's going to happen. So
One to look forward to either way.
So
And
now we're
then,
in the
and
That'd be
then
good.
come tabletop,
When
we've
you're
got the
that close.
ginormous D&D. We've got some
ginormous
Pathfinder.
D&D. We got plenty of Pathfinder.
We got ginormous Warhammer.
Yep.
Got
Okay.
War
I'm also
Machine,
gonna pass.
some Pokemon, some Magic.
I has lists. For
Oh,
this
he
reason.
has the whole list here. Let's do it.
Well, not the whole list, just most of the list. So D&D's group has, as I said, 25 tables that they're running, especially that big event on Saturday night. So they're mostly
know,
running
right.
about 22 D&D tables at a time with My Little Pony and Star Wars and Star Trek. Yeah, but they're there, and they got plenty of space for character creation. I made sure to cover them so they can
Okay,
create
okay.
characters, you can update characters. They'll have plenty of pre-gens. If you only have an hour to drop in and play, they're fine. Okay, they're set up, and they'll have their own schedule there.
shoot the
It's
star.
on Warhorn,
Okay.
but I am human, so I might have missed something. Well, at least that's the rumor. People keep saying I'm human, but I don't know. I don't remember that far back. Warhammer 40K's got 32 seats, and
Okey-dokey.
it's on Warhorn. It's filling up really quickly. Realm Warfare is one of the groups that's playing.
Oh.
They're the indie groups.
Okay.
I'm going to activate.
They're
all-
there. The game library we talked
besides
about.
that one.
Magic's
Huge
got
game
2 different
library.
tournaments. By the way, number of players for each of the Magic tournaments,
all be
54. For the 2 Magic
Well,
tournaments,
we got
54
one blank.
players each.
Dang.
Those are big tournaments.
Magic's a big one.
I
Always
know,
has
I know,
been.
but that's still a big
It's
tournament.
just getting
Huh?
bigger and bigger as well. Every
Yeah.
year it gets bigger.
You got to be impressed by that.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's been around since the very early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay,
it's been
and
around
it's-
since before I was born.
Yeah, but the only other
It's
card
all
game
right.
that's been around longer than Magic, as far as card game, is probably
No.
Solitaire.
I don't think
You know?
yeah.
But it's impressive. You got to applaud their creativity, and they keep adding things to it. I know that Oasis had PAX here. They had just had a release not too long ago that Oasis was, ranting and raving about the new cards. So they're still adding new things to it, and not just new cards, hooray, hurrah. But we're talking different ways to play the
Battle
game changers, like the you play an avatar in some of them. Legend, I think it is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't back in my day when you took hits. You took hits. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was about it.
Yeah, it's
It hurt.
Like I have cards. that are a
Let's
lot more
see.
tuned
So
to
we talked.
combat.
Legion's got 16 table spots. Legion's fairly new Star Wars one. This is the first tournament that I
guessing
know
you're
of in the
gonna just
state
kinda
for
pick
Legion.
one of these out
And
of my hand.
the ATS, it's a Star
cool.
Wars one. Miniature combat. The ATSD
Mini-
stands
miniatures,
like that tall.
quotation marks.
The ATSD stands about that tall. I have my ATSD done.
Oh,
My snow speeder's done. Luke and Vader are put together,
Good about this.
and that's about all I've got done. So it took it. It's
Nothing but
really
blanks.
impressive.
Nothing but blanks. That's great.
My ATSD took me probably
I'm going to
15 hours
resolve
put together.
these.
I don't have that kind of time, but it'll be fun. I mean, even
Maybe.
if the way we've designed these is there's plenty of space around
I'm going to
them
resolve all
for
3 of
walkways
these
and things like
actually.
that, and so you can
This
sit
should
and
go left
observe
from
a
right.
lot of them.
Or how should? Okay, I'll just do it easily. So deal 2 damage to a character,
Like
or 3
I realize your
instead
camera
if the
can't see
character
this,
has 1 or more shields.
but there's
so that's 3 damage to
walkways
that one.
here all the way around all the tournaments.
Okay.
Okay, so like
Phasma
Legion's going to be
will
right
deal
here.
2 damage.
So you can
to-
sit there and
There's,
stand
there's
here.
some
well.
pretty big walkways just
Huh?
just
And
to
it-
walk
it
right
works-
past them.
The
Just
plan
to
is so,
watch.
fire marshal mostly.
And
you
then
still
deal
have
1 damage
safe ways to
each
travel, but there's
any number
enough
of
room that you
characters.
should be able to at least observe.
Jenga? There's a whole section
We
dedicated
actually
to
have a
Jenga?
Jenga tournament.
That's
It's
crazy.
really fun how we're doing it too. Every hour,
Hey, you know what?
From
It was a
when we
good
start
game, though.
to
The
when
dice
we
were
end.
Just were not in your favor. or
starting
in
I
anybody's
think
favor,
noon
really.
on Friday.
Yeah.
So
I
we've
say
got
it with
16
my
different
awesome roll at the
qualifiers.
end.
You sign up for one of the qualifiers. The winner of each qualifier, and it'll be a 16 people fighting it out to the 8 to 4 to 1. Okay, and then they go into the championship round, which is Saturday afternoon at 5. So you want to play in the championship, you got to play in the qualifiers.
Dang. Jenga is not one I
gotta
expected to be
qualify
on,
for
on the
Jenga.
tournament list.
Well,
Yeah.
they were
Wait, you got to
looking at
qualify
it.
for Jenga?
You gotta
You gotta
qualify
qualify.
for Jenga.
What?
Yeah.
All of these tournaments, at least right as of me saying this, all these tournaments do have some room in them. I wouldn't bet on there always being room in them if you come into the con. Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon
I
Ball
won.
Super.
What?
2 different Dragon Ball
He
Super.
won.
I won.
He what? This isn't
What?
fair. I
You
came
run-
to
I
watch
felt-
him get beat.
It was not a good feeling victory either. It was I got 3 ultimates that all dealt perfect amount of damage, and she rolled all blanks. It did not feel like a good victory. It felt very.
The Force is
mean.
strong with this one. Dark side, mind you, but strong with this one.
Still.
It's a Dragon Ball Super BattleTech. Are you familiar with BattleTech? You guys seen BattleTech?
BattleTech's awesome.
BattleTech has been around since the 80s. And
Yeah.
it is a war game that is based around, rather than an open terrain, it's usually based around a hex field.
Oh. Okay.
And the BattleTech guys that run BattleTech here go all out. They'll have buildings and mechs. All of them are painted. He does a
course,
really good job.
of course.
He's bringing a lot of help with him this year, too. He's got, there are 4 of them total coming in to run BattleTech.
I also
And they got some
realized
beautiful
that
space.
the entry-
We've also got open, just sit down and play. Plenty of space. Bring in what you want. Bring your
Drop
friends.
and go.
Find some friends. Pretend you like people. Whatever. And have fun.
So, those of you who are maybe on the fence about going to Gaming Con, heard about some of the events that are happening, you want to participate? Well, do we have a deal for you?
Oh, about 30% off.
30%.
30%.
30% off your tickets.
This is
Yo.
easy. You go to the website. There's a code to type in. This one ought to be really hard for you guys to remember. Geekwave, all caps.
Ooh.
You get
30%
30% off
off.
on your tickets.
And that is just one word, by the way.
Yeah, just one word.
Just one
Geekwave,
word.
all caps,
Geekwave,
8
all
letters.
caps.
And obviously, we'll be dropping all of this information down in the description. So, if this does not have you hyped about Gaming Con, I don't think anything will get you hyped about Gaming Con. Alrighty, well, you
Yeah.
can expect us to be at Gaming Con. We hope to see you guys at Gaming Con. And again, feel free to use that link in the description to get 30% off of your ticket, your pass to Gaming Con this year. Again, a huge thanks and a huge shout out to Oasis Games for hosting us and letting us be here. It's awesome of them to let us use their space. So, with that, we'll catch you geeks later.
Geek out.
out.